Hello, everyone. Gabe Mendez. Today is Winner Circle Wednesday, February 7th, and we're completing our third segment on mastering human interaction. If you're just watching this for the first time, I want you guys to go back and watch week 1, because this will make some sense independently, but really to get a full understanding, you have to watch 1, because week 1, we talked about the fundamentals, the basics, how to get people to like you, qualities of a leader, how to influence people to your way of thinking. Those topics are extremely important before we uncover the final 2 personality types. Week 2, we went into the first 2 personality types of humans, which are the D and the I, the driver and the influencer. Today, I'm excited because we're going to be going over the S and the C, which is the steadiness and conscientious, and we're going to dive right into it. So we're here. Present today. 1 second. Let's go. Boom. All right. Quick refresher for everyone. Last week, there are 4 major personality types in sales. Drop into the chat. How many major personality types do we have? Drop into the chat. Drop into the chat. How many major personalities? Are you awake? There we go. Thank you, Lilia. 4. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. I know it's a little cold today, but we're going to wake up today. I promise you this. Listen, a lot of you out there in sales, maybe really well in sales, but I challenge you and ask you this question. Are you doing well because just naturally you're good with connecting with people? And are you doing good because naturally people just come to you? That's only 25% of the market. There's 75% of the market who don't think like you, speak like you, aren't motivated by you, the same factors that motivate you. There are 3 other major personality types, and that's great. But if I were to ask you, can you really break it down as to why people are saying yes to you? That's what today's about. The other 3 personality types, if I were to ask you, how can you attract them? How can you connect with them? How can you make sure that no listing or buyer ever goes by? That's what today's all about. So as a recap, we have 4 major personality types, D, I, S, and C. Let's recap on the first 2. Dominance. We talked last week. This person is very driven by anger. They're motivated by anger. This person is they're the result driven. They want the results yesterday. They have a winning mindset. They're very competitive. They buy success. These people, the dominant people, are typically people who seem to be rude. These are the people that walk into the open house and they have that. You ask them, "How are you today?" And they go, "Good." And they walk right past you and you get stuck with the spouse. That's the D personality. But then now next you have the I personality. And really quickly, I'm going to go back to dominance. How do you work with the dominant personality? Now, for the people that were here last week, can you drop it in the chat or open your mic? How do you work with the D personality? What should you do differently in your listing presentation? What should you do differently when they call you? What should you do differently when you're sitting across the table at a pre-approval appointment? How do you work with a D personality? For those who were present last week, how do you work with the D personality? Stephanie says, be direct. Absolutely. You have to be direct. Be transparent, straight to the point, 100%. Wendy, Stephanie, thank you. In order to work with a D personality, you must be transparent, direct, and give them exactly what they asked for immediately. If you're trying to close a D personality, do not sit there and say, "Well, before we get to that, let me try to do this." You will piss them off. Don't use a lot of words to get to the point. D personality, don't talk to them about their feelings. How are you doing today? How are you feeling? One of the worst questions you can ask a D personality. They don't care. I hired you to do a job. I hired you to sell for the most amount of money. I hired you to X. That's the importance of it. That's the D personality. Now, question for all of you. The I personality, the influencer. Can someone remind me, who's the I person? What do they like to do? What are they known for? Drop it in the chat, open your mic. What is the I personality known for? Letty says friendly, they're talkative. Absolutely. The I personality is that friendly person. They're the influencer. It's the person inside of the room who has their hand up. Trust me, the I personality is very easy to identify. Typically inside of a setting, it's the person who's talking the loudest, talking the most, laughing the most, asking the most questions. It's the person that's getting everyone hyped up and excited to come over here, do all that. It's the easiest person to identify. Now, what motivates the I personality from people who were there last week? What are they driven by?
Recognition.
Recognition. Recognition. The quickest way to build rapport with someone who's an I personality type is to develop the recognition with them. So what might you do to win someone over who's an I person? Well, better question. If you walk into a listing presentation, you get a phone call from a potential seller, you meet someone at an open house, what's the first question you should ask them? And people who know the answer, like Rashad, don't answer. But what's the first question you should ask someone to identify their personality type? Come on, professional salespeople. What is it? Drop it in the chat. What's the first question you should ask any prospect to identify their personality type? Yes. Yes. How's it going? How? Excellent. The very first question all of us should be asking every sales prospect is, how's it going? And when you ask an I personality type, how's it going? How do they typically reply? How do they reply? What are their mannerisms like? What are their facial expressions like? Come on, somebody. I need all of you to grasp this conversation today, because when we're completed with this third chapter, I need all of you to increase your closing ratio. I need all of you to close those leads. Amanda, yes, they won't stop talking. That's a really good way of identifying them. Yes. When you ask an I personality, how's it going? They will give you the longest emotional answer that's possibly out there. So yes, you might say to a person like, how's it going? And they might tell you, oh my gosh, it's been going so good. I'm so excited. X, Y, and Z. Now let's move on to the third personality type. We have the steadiness. This person right here is motivated by cooperation. They're motivated by opportunities to help, sincere appreciation. Now, if they are S personality type, and you ask them a question like, how's it going? They are typically a little more soft-spoken. They seem polite. They're very happy, a little more reserved. You know who's an S personality type? Monica Singer. You know who's an S personality type? Cherish. I believe that. These are perfect examples of S personality types. Yes, exactly, Stephanie. Steadiness. S personality types. They're the person who's a little more reserved. And on the outside, they look like they're totally connecting with you. But on the inside, if you do any of the following things, they're like, hell no, I'm not hiring this person. So what could you do to turn off an S personality type? Well, we know that they're motivated by opportunities to help, sincere appreciation, cooperation. What you can do to turn them off with this person is you can talk too fast. You can be too aggressive. Your mannerisms, if you're Latino, you probably talk a lot with your hands. You're emoting a lot and you're doing a lot. Oh my gosh, I'm just so, and you're doing all this and you're talking to them. Maybe you're at the open house and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to show you this home. Look at this big thing right here. And listen, you can accidentally confuse an S with an I, and you have to be very careful. Because when you ask them, how's it going? They could be in a very chipper mood, very excited. It's going so good. Thank you for asking. And if you miscue the tonality, the mannerisms on what they're telling you, you could accidentally misidentify them as an I personality. And if you get too chipper, too excited, and you bring up the energy with them, automatic wall goes up. The S personality doesn't like confrontation. They don't like fighting with one. They don't want to tell you no. So what this person is going to do to you is they're going to say yes to your face. It sounds really good. They might give you one number off on the phone number, or actually give you their phone number, because again, they don't want that type of, got a waiting room. Perfect. They don't want that type of confrontation. So what ends up happening is they'll just tell you yes, but they'll ignore you afterwards. That's the S personality. Exactly. Letty hit it right on the head. They're a little more sensitive. So with that S personality type, what could discourage them? By the way, for everyone who's out there, the S personality type, this person is actually the reason for success behind the D. If you guys know of someone in this world who's a very high driver, they're very motivated, they're 5 a.m. club, they're working out hard, they're all in, they're very loud and just seem rude, like the D personality, every D personality can only reach their fullest potential by being partnered with an S. Partnered with an S. Think of every big personality you can think out there. The ones who are just go-getters. They have an S in the background that's supporting them. S is that supportive person. They love to help. They love to be there for you. They love to contribute. They're the person at the party picking everything up. They're the one asking if they need help with anything. They're the one checking in on you. It's the one to see how you're doing. That's the S personality type. The reason Ds are successful is because they have an S. My personality type, if you can't tell already, I'm a very high D. My wife, very high S. That's why she stepped out for a second. That's why she's back there supporting me, letting people in on the chat. That's what she's focusing on. So how could you discourage them? How could you discourage and break their spirit? Drop it in the chat. What might you do? Think about it. What might you do to a person who's very, what's that?
You don't tell them you appreciate them enough.
Oh my gosh, you are spot on. Yes, Juan, yes. Rashad, yes. Team, I want you guys to listen to me. Yes, be demanding. The complete opposite of appreciation. You want to break the S's, spirit? Don't appreciate them. And if you're in a relationship with them and you don't know the love language, even worse. So if you have an S personality type who's supporting your husband and the husband says, babe, go find a realtor to sell this house. And the S personality goes on Instagram, they go on TikTok, they go on Yelp, they go on Google, and they call you and they go, hi. All right, again, listen to me. The perfect example I can give you an S is Monica Singer, Cherish. Those two are very high S's. Think about when you speak to them. They're very chipper, they're very happy, but they're not the I type of personality, but they almost have a sense of reservation about them. A little reserved. And if you don't appreciate the things that they do because they thank you a lot, they smile, they make eye contact, and if you don't appreciate them, little by little, you'll start to chip away at them. So if you have someone like a Cherish or a Monica call you and say, hey, is this William? I heard you're a realtor in Temecula. Or they go and say, hey, is this Natalie? I heard you're a realtor in the Inland Empire or in the Valley. And you don't recognize that person and you come off too overbearing, too direct and all that, you're not sensitive and understanding enough and appreciating the time. You're not using language like, thank you so much for calling me. I'm so glad I have the opportunity to help you. I'm looking forward to assisting you. Wow, assisting me? That's what I do for people. I assist people. You're using language that connects with them on an unconscious level. And before you know, remember, the logic will get people thinking the emotion is what makes the decision. Logic gets you to think the emotion is the decision. People are decision-based makers. I'll give you an example. You guys saw a car, probably too expensive, a house too expensive, a perfume too expensive, outfit too expensive. But the moment you put that suit on, fellas, ladies, the moment you put that those extensions on, knowing they're way out of budget, you shouldn't not be dyeing your hair blonde because how many sessions is it going to take to get that thing blonde? But you looked at it and you're like, damn, I feel good. I could probably put this on credit and pay it off a little later. Logically, you know, it didn't make sense. Think about it. When did you all make a buying decision recently that you know logically wasn't the smartest thing to do, but emotionally it felt right? I know sis, you're going through that transition maybe, I don't know. But listen, that's what I'm talking about today. When they call you on the phone, the S, to approach the D, to you, and you ask them, how's it going? And they talk to you, and you can speak their unconscious mind by using language that resonates with them because you've identified who they are. I promise you, you will close them every time on the phone. Here's why. Because people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. The trust factor was probably established through your reviews on Google and Yelp. The trust factor was probably established by your videos on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. The knowing factor, I knew of you because I researched you. But what about the like? What about the like? Can someone tell me what like means in the know, like, and trust factor? Why is that so important? What does like mean? What's another word for like? Drop it in the chat. What's another word for like? Similar. There you go. Rapport. Similar. Similar. No similar trust. Not like I like you as a person. It's like as in we're alike. Listen to the words I am telling you today, because if you can pick up what I'm putting down today, I promise you, you will close every single listing, every single buyer, every open house lead that comes in, or at least get their phone number. So when you can speak to the words that resonate with them most, like a like, that's how you connect. So recap on the steadiness personality type. They're motivated by sincere appreciation, opportunities to help, cooperation. Don't speak to this person too strong. Earn their trust little by little by using mannerisms similar to theirs, language similar to theirs. Clarify, be as transparent as possible. This person has a wall up in the very beginning. I'll give you a prime example. I keep on going back to Monica Singer because most of you know who she is, and it's the most relevant person that I can think of that'll make the most sense. Monica and I knew each other from a distance, all right? We followed each other on social media for a couple of years. I think like 3 or 4 years. We never spoke to each other, never talked to each other, never DM. We just had each other on social media. One day I was going to be in LA. I was at Century 21 Realty Masters. They invited me to go up to do a training for their entire office. So I went up there. I was going to do my listing presentation. And I invited Monica out. I was like, hey, Monica, come out, bring your team, let's do all that. I met Monica for the first time at that training. She walked up, she's like, hi, nice to meet you. Very reserved, very polite. She met my wife, I met her team, she met my kids. It was very awesome interaction, but that was it. And then I think we had another event. I saw her at an event. And then after that, we connected. I went out to dinner with her husband and her team. We went out with my wife and a couple of other people. We broke bread, got to know one another. And over time, and man, if you guys, boy, Lester had a hawk eyes on me too. He was like peeping me out loud. Who's this cat, right? What's he all about? But I was just me. And little by little, I was just being myself, transparent. And eventually that guard that she has as an S personality type, just like my wife, as an S personality type, began to come down. Then we got into business together, and now we're here 17, 18, 19 months later. But the point is this, with an S personality type, it takes time. When you're calling them as a lead follow-up, hey, listen, you called me a couple of weeks ago thinking about selling your house. I just wanted to check in on you guys. How are you doing? By the way, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with my lender 2 weeks ago. I really appreciate that. Oh, no worries. It's okay. Well, hey, listen, I just want to make sure that I'm a resource for you. I'm going to send over an updated CMA report so you know the value of your home. I'm going to also send over some sales comparables about the neighborhood, just so you're aware of the sales. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, if it's okay with you, I'd like to check in about a month. Is that all right? It's totally okay. You would not talk to a D personality like that. You'd be like, yo, D personality, what's up? I just sent you a CMA. Did you see the numbers I sent over to you? Are the sales comparables okay? What's your timeline for the sale? Does 6 weeks still work from now today? Yeah, perfect. I don't want to waste your time. I know you're busy. I'll talk to you later. Bye. On and off. You got to change depending on who you're talking to. S personality, earn their trust, clarify guidelines as much as possible. Don't come off too strong. Appreciate them often as possible. Speak to them soft, earn their trust, break the guard, close the deal. That's the S personality type. Lastly, the one that I have the most challenge connecting with as a person. This is my personal challenge, okay? How many of you out there are, you like people, you make slow decisions, and you're data driven? You're cool with people, but you're more data driven. I want to look at things. I want to I want to slow down on my decision. Just by show of hands on the camera really quick. How many of you are that way? Jessica Sanchez says, I am. David says, I am. These are the people that's very difficult in business, listings and buyers and open houses for me to connect with. It's the compliance person, the C personality. This is the person who is motivated by opportunities to gain knowledge. Perfect example, David Oriana, our Houston team. The team leader for the Oriana team out in the Houston area. If you guys have any deals in Houston, make sure to contact David underneath that. But David is extremely analytical. He's extremely compliant. This guy is the first one registering for all the trainings, first one registering for all the motivation, first one to do all that stuff. He is a very high C personality. They're motivated by opportunities to gain knowledge. They're excited to share their expertise, and they're very detail oriented. Everything has to be perfect. They're the type of person who get paralysis of analysis. They will overthink something so much that they almost don't get anything done sometimes because, nope, that's not right. That's not right. They're the person who wants to, you might be talking to them on the phone and they might say, yeah, can you email me the spreadsheet, the number, look at the CMA. The perfect example. When you're sending out the CMA report to an I personality, it's okay to go onto a software like Cloud CMA and get the beautiful colors and the map and the pins and all that stuff with the multiple pages. With a C person, don't do that. With the C person, for a CMA report, you're going to print out the MLS printout sheet, the one that looks like a spreadsheet with all the black lines and all the data everywhere. You're going to give them one clean sheet with that to review. They don't need to know anything else except what the data says. That's the compliance person. David is very high in that personality. Question for all of you. How should you be speaking to someone who's data-driven? Someone who's a little slower, analytical, how should you speak to them? Drop it in the chat. David, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this. Drop it on the chat. Jessica says, it's me. Jessica, maybe if you're available to talk, can you tell me, how do you appreciate being spoken to? If someone wanted to sell you at a listing presentation, if someone wanted to sell you at an open house, how might they approach you?
They better have all the numbers, explain everything within details, send me an email afterwards with what we went over. If there's something like for a listing, if I need to do some fixer-uppers on my house, send me a list because I'm going to follow that list and make sure it gets done.
Oh my gosh, your personality types love lists. You guys love seeing bullet points. You guys love to-do lists. You guys love check boxes. That is them right there. At an open house, just listen to what Jessica told you. At an open house, if you ask this person how, listen to the way she spoke. David, what about you? What might someone do at an open house to win you over? If you have the ability to open your mic. Listen, guys, listen to this.
I would say just be organized, like be able to say, like, give me facts about the house, like show me prints where it says like information about the house, and it's like straight to the point, like bullet points.
Okay. Did anyone recognize the similarity in Jessica and David's tonality when they spoke? Who noticed that? That's what I was trying to get you guys to listen to. We're talking about the areas. I want you to listen to how they said it. Jessica was very, I want to see the numbers, I want to see the bullet list. I just want to see, I want to see, send me an email afterwards. Kind of just like, we're very methodical. I don't want it, not too emotive. David, I want to see the list. I want to see the numbers. I just want to see, they were, Andrea says, yes, I recognize the tonality. That's what I'm trying to train you on today, is how they want to be spoken to, not what's being said, but how it's being said, how to deliver your words, how to have your mannerisms, how to talk to their unconscious self. Because when you can learn how to speak their language, and Jessica walks into the open house and you do something like this, you ask them, Jessica, how's it going? She's like, I'm well, thank you. She's probably going to make very slight contact with you, or might look at you and look away and just kind of acknowledge you, but she's not going to get very deep into how her day was. Am I right, Jessica? You might a little bit to be polite.
You're on point. Yeah.
What was that? Can you say that one more time?
You're on point. That's exactly what I would do.
Come on, somebody. That's because I've been mastering human interaction for the last 8 years in real estate. When they walk into your open house and you ask them how it's going, they will walk in very tall, very proud, like just not shy at all. And because they know what they know, they're going to walk into the open house like this and say, hi, I'm well, thank you. Just very direct, just nonchalant. It's not a big deal. That's how you identify their C personality. Then you quickly change your flyer, get your analytical flyer out, hand it over to them. And you go straight into the data and the points. This is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. I'll give you a prime example. Can someone tell me, if you get a lead on the phone, and they're an I personality, and you're screening this listing lead, and you ask them, let me ask you guys a question, not how's it going, but if you're talking to a listing lead on the phone for the first time, to identify the personality type other than how's it going, what's another question you might ask them to identify the personality type on the phone regarding the sale of their property, not a purchase, the sale of their home? What question might you ask? Yes, Jennifer, you're very true. Very matter of fact. That's how they speak. They're very matter of fact people. Absolutely. Come on, salespeople. You get a phone call to list a house. You ask them this question to identify, not the how's it going. It's a second question you might ask them. What's something that's relevant to the sale of their home that you might ask to identify them? Why they're selling? Close.
How much
on,
equity is in
salespeople.
their home?
It's a really good, another good question. What's one of the basic questions you might ask somebody when it comes to the sale of their property?
Where are they
What's your
going?
timeline?
What's your timeline? Where's it going? Can you tell me about the house? These kind of questions. What kind of house do you have? If you ask an I personality, who's an I personality? Let me see. Let me meet somebody. Noemi. Chicago. Noemi, are you there? Very high I personality. Very high. Love her. Amazing. Noemi, are you there? Test, test, test. We don't have Noemi on the line. That's okay. Who else is there? Who's an I personality? Who's an I personality? Go ahead.
I'm here, Gabe. I'm here.
Where are you? Noemi, you're there. Okay, perfect.
Hi,
Noemi,
how are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
I love it. Okay. Noemi, you're an I personality. You love people. You're very talkative. You're connected. You're smiling all the time. You're very emotive. I love it. I see your videos. The one that you did yesterday was great. Okay.
Thank you.
You guys, okay, pause for a second, Noemi. Listen,
Yes.
sales team, I'm trying to train your ear on something. Listen carefully. Did you guys notice how Noemi's tonality was different from David and Jessica's? What was different? Open the mic. Just what was different?
She's
Come on,
so
Steph. I mean, you mic or type.
super
I see
happy.
Stephanie trying to
She
do.
was louder.
You
Yes.
can feel her smiling.
Come on, let's go.
She's
you can feel her
friendlier.
smile. You can feel her. Yes, Stephanie said it. Her tone. She was bubbly. She was excited. Jessica and David were very matter of fact. David and Jessica, let me ask you a question. If Noemi met you at an open house and she came with that big bubbly personality, how much of that could you tolerate? Be honest. No, I'm asking you an honest question, David and Jessica. Go ahead, answer the question. How much of that could you tolerate?
less than a minute.
Okay, David?
Yeah, I feel like a lot.
A lot, right? But like, you'd probably be like, oh, turn off the caffeine, bro. Like, it's too much, right? Absolutely.
And I would definitely
Okay.
feel overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. I love it. Do you guys listen to Jessica's tonality when she's speaking? Yeah, I definitely feel overwhelmed. Not how I said it, but like, oh my gosh, it's too much. It was such a different tonality. Listen to the cues. These are the things that are going to help you close that 6% at the table. It's the thing that makes the difference. You know what I mean? My question for you is this.
Yes.
I'm just going to ask you an honest question. Be normal.
Okay.
I don't care if you give me the real life answer or you can just make up an answer, but just give me the real life answer. Can you tell me about your home, please? Tell me about your home. What do you love about it? Tell me about it.
I love the space, the openness, the room.
Cool. Love that. Thank you. Okay, pause for a second, Noemi. David, really fast. Can you tell me about your house?
I love the open space. There's no carpet, tile flooring throughout, high ceilings.
Awesome. Love that. Thank you for sharing that. Jessica, just honest question. You can make up a house, or you can tell me about yours. It doesn't really matter. But can you please tell me about your house?
Yes. I love
Describe it to me.
Yeah, the neighborhood, kid friendly, house has stairs for my kids to play on.
Love it. Listen to the tonality, ladies and gentlemen. You ask someone on the phone, tell me about your home. Noemi's smiling through the phone. You can feel her radiating. She's excited.
Oh my
Switch it up
goodness, let me
depending.
stop.
Yes. No, Noemi, you're good because the influencer is the person who builds companies. It's the person who is the person that's the forefront. It's the person who is leading the charge. You're like a Leo Robles. Leo Robles is a big high I, very big influencer. Leo Robles likes people, and he likes he's more people oriented than he is results oriented as an I personality. And I believe you're more people oriented as well, just like him. And this is why Leo's as successful as he is. So it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. I want you guys to double down, but just, you need to be able to have two items. Sales team, please listen to me. You have what's your natural state and you have what's called an adaptive state. The natural state is who you are as a person every day. It's your Jessica and David, the C, Noemi, the I, Leo, the I, Gabe, the D. That's your natural state. But as a sales professional, you have to be able to shift that and go into an adaptive state when you go to sales. Have you guys ever, how many times on Zoom, at winter circle events, or on calls, or whenever you call me for help, or I call you to check in, or just whatever, any of our interactions, how many times, Rashad, you and I talk almost every day. How many times have you guys seen me mad and upset, and you guys just see it, feel it, hear it, like you're just like, dude, don't talk to that guy, ever. I'm a very high D personality. I love results. I don't like talking about feelings. I don't like talking about, I want to know, why weren't those counter offers sent out? Why isn't that listing done yet? You can ask my wife. Very high D personality. So all of you, how often have you seen that? Is it less than you can count on one hand? Is it more than two hands? Go ahead, drop it in the chat or open your mic, Todd.
I would say I misinterpreted it a lot, but it was mostly because you're focused on a task. And when you're focused on a task, don't take this the wrong way, but you're pretty direct and rude. So you're like,
direct.
someone calls him, he's like, good. So what happened with that thing? So, but if he doesn't have a task, then he's way more open. It feels like you're an I if you don't have a task to do.
Absolutely. And I love the key word that you just said right there, is that I came off as rude, but my focus is just, I'm very high I. I'm very just focused on the task. Like, hey, did we execute? Did we get that done? Did we knock this task out? My D personality, when I'm out, and he says, like, when you're not focused on, but on these kind of things right here, you don't see my D. You see my I on this call. I'm adaptive. I know what I have to be. I know what do you guys really want to be like this during the call right now? You guys ready to listen? Okay. Do you really want to be like this? You guys saw a little bit of the D in the very beginning, but do you really want to be like this in the call? All right. So compliance characteristics, you guys write this down, get your pen out. They're motivated by opportunities to gain knowledge, share their experience, quality of work, very analytical. So when you're talking to them, just get that done. Everyone got that? I'm moving on right now. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Good. Next. You'd be like, bro, I like the conciseness. It's great. But I want to make sure that you guys are actually picking up what I'm putting down. I'm not here just to complete the task. I'm here to make sure you get it. I have on stage, when I'm talking, when I'm speaking at listing presentations, there's been times where my suit ripped out on the way to listing presentation. I have no gas. I've been hungry all day. My barber canceled my haircut and I'm stressed out. I went to Miami 2 years ago by Lux Properties. They flew me out. I spoke to 500 of their agents on stage. For some reason, the world conspired against me. My suit that I had just bought, I got it tailored. The tailor took too long. I didn't get a chance to have it rehemmed after I bought it. So I just picked it up from the place, flew across country, got this all filmed on camera, by the way, flew across country. And because it's so freaking humid, my skin's not used to it. I started to break out with big pimples. I'm talking about big. I woke up the next morning with this fat knot on my head. I'm like, what the fudge is this? This big old knot on my dome. I got to be on stage in front of 500 people. I put on my suit. When I do that to my suit, everyone look at the camera. It was all the way up here. I was like, what is this? And my shirt was it was one of the worst experiences ever. But I knew I had to be in an adaptive state in that moment. There has to be that moment in your life, I personalities, S personalities, C personalities, where you flip the switch. You have to develop that skill. You have to develop that skill. If you don't develop that skill, you will be limited to what you know and who you can work with. You will literally self-sabotage your business if you can't become adaptive. If I can't take you, David, and put you in an open house and get you to work with a person like me, a person like Monica Singer, and a person like Leo, DIS, if I can't get you to do that, the next analytical person that comes in, which is only 25% of people, then you'll only work with them. And then you'll misinterpret the Ds like me and say, that guy was rude. I don't want to work with him anyways. I wasn't rude. I just want to buy a house. We can talk and have drinks later. And then if I'm a D personality and you come to me with a big spreadsheet of all the sales comparables and you expect me to read it and I just put it back in, like, I don't need that. And you think I'm rude? It's not because I'm rude, bro. It's because you don't understand who I am. If you understood who I am on the inside, what motivates me, what inspires me, how to speak my language, if you knew that, you wouldn't mischaracterize me as rude. You would say, I know who you are. I know how you like to be spoken to. Here's the colorful one. The results are right there. There's 3 houses, similar, and they sold for this much. I think you can get to about this much. You connected with me. Hey, listen, I don't want no fluff with you, sir. I just want an opportunity in your business. Can I sit down with you and offer my proposal? Promise you it only takes 30 minutes. I'll blow your mind away. And if you're not blown away by 15 minutes, I'll walk out on my own. Deal? I'll sit back and go, I like this kid. My wife, she hears me all the time. I take every single sales call that comes on my phone from different industries. Hey, I'm selling this. You want to buy some Yelp ads? You want to do that? I'll just sit there and listen to them. The ones that I actually go ahead and entertain a little more are the ones who can identify personality type and quickly switch. Hey, listen, man, I don't want to cut. I'm just going to cut through the BS. This is what I have. I want to offer that. And then you got the ones who are over salesy. Listen, bro, I'm not rude. I'm not rude. I just want what I want yesterday. I hope you can talk to me that way. I hope I don't have to tell you that because you're a professional salesperson. Listen, I'm scared. I'm walking this open house thing by myself. I'm an S personality. So I'm going to be a little friendly. I might seem like I'm saying yes, but did you work hard in my trust? Did you identify me? Do you know who you're talking to? I'm an I personality. I'm very fun and bubbly. Why are you giving me these numbers on a black and white paper? Give me the one with the colors and all the pins and everything like that. Let's have some fun. Do you have champagne here, by the way? Dude, come on over here. We'll worry about the rest of the house. Let's go get a drink first. On a scale from, or not even a scale, are you picking up what I'm putting down? I'm asking you an honest question. Are you guys truly picking up what I'm putting down today? Is this truly helping you and opening your eyes and your mind to how to work with people, how to close more listings, how to recruit more people onto your sales team, how to go ahead and get more buyers, how to close these open house leads when they walk in? I don't want you guys going into these open houses thinking that there's something wrong with them. It's not them, it's us. We just haven't been trained. What they did to us with the state board is they said, take these tests, take the licensing test, now go sell some houses. What they did not do is said, do you know how to communicate effectively? Do you know how to shake a hand? Do you know how to present? Do you know how to identify the personality and how to sell to them? Because selling is an emotional decision. They didn't do that. They just said, how many acres are in a square mile or something like that, or what's a townshed or something like that, and ask all these weird questions that you don't even use in real estate. I mean, are any of you guys surprised, like the stuff that honestly, drop it in the chat. I'm asking an honest question. How many of you at least use 20% of what you learned on that state test? Be honest. I don't at all. They didn't teach me how to do a sales comparable on the state test. They didn't teach me about taxes and 1031 exchanges. Come on. If you do, drop it in the chat. Maybe you did. I don't. Janet, Natalie says, no way. No. Anne Marie, no. 0 of it. Noemi, of course. And that's already 3 different cities and counties and states. No one has. We don't do it. This is why today's training is so important. So to connect in conclusion with the C personality type, in conclusion, when you're speaking to them, provide information and data. Give them plans. Send them a follow-up email. Give them bullet points. Give them a checklist. When it's time to prepare their home for sale, give them a to-do list. When it's time to give them sales comparables, black and white, give them the numbers, the grids, that's it. Give them time to process the information. Don't rush them into a decision. And make sure you are well prepared. That's the first thing David and Jessica said, by the way, is that you better have everything ready when they walk into that open house. If you walk into an open house, if they walk into an open house and they ask you, what's the lot square footage, HOA, Melrose amount, and you have to say, it's a good question, let me ask, and you don't have that information readily available for them, oh, you lost them. Good luck. You lost them. Have it readily available for them to see. That's the C personality type right there. In conclusion for today, on the final chapter of working with all personality types, as sales professionals, ladies and gentlemen, as a sales professional, your job as a licensed realtor is to help people buy and sell real estate. Work with people every day of our life. Our kids are people, our parents are people, the agents on our team are people, our brokers are people, folks that walk into an open house are people, the calls that you get to sell properties for are people. These are all human beings. So if there's anything you should spend your time on, it's learning how to master human interaction. It's learning how to identify who they are, what motivates them, what discourages them. It's a matter of, how does my tonality sound? What are my mannerisms like? How do I prepare and present the information? That's what mastering human interaction is all about. So after today's training, what I want you to do for the next 6 days is identify the D, the I, the S, the C. I want you guys to put a cheat sheet together. I just gave you guys a cheat sheet, a one-shot for all personalities, and say, ooh, that's a D. Straight to the point. Oh, that's an I. Be a little more flamboyant, have a little more excitement in your voice. Oh, that's an S. I gotta win her trust. That's a C. Get straight to, give it the data, have the analytics ready to go. Oh, that's a D, by the way. Whatever I do, don't talk too much, and have it yesterday. That's an I personality over there. I got to make sure to win them over and get their emotions going, get them in love with it. That's the S over there. I can't be too pushy and too flamboyant. That'll discourage them. That's the C. I can't be too harsh, too fast, and I got to give them space and time to make a decision. You identify these people at an open house. You identify them on the phone. You identify them while you're door knocking. And if you can do that, and you can adjust that personality type, you will have a higher chance of closing them every time. Because sales psychology says this: 93% of a person's decision on whether they say yes or no to you, whether they sign the dotted line or not, 93% of that decision has nothing to do with the words you say. 93% of a person's decision is weighted on nonverbal communication. How your body acts and how you say the words, 93% of the decision. Only 7% are the words. Don't worry about what you're going to say. Worry about how you're going to say it, how they're going to receive it, what your body's saying to them with your body language. You do that, you'll close every deal. You'll get every listing signed. You'll get every contact at that door. You'll close them and get the appointment at the open house set right then and there. And the 7%, well, you're part of the winner's circle. We're going to teach you the language. We're going to teach you the scripts. We're going to teach you how to present. That's all the things we're going to teach you. But these last 3 weeks, we're strictly focused on the how. So please, if you haven't watched the other 2 sets, go back and watch it. Winner's Circle Wednesday. That's it for today. Send this to your team. Share it with them. And we're finished. We concluded how to master human interaction.
So good. So good.
Thank you, brother. You're welcome. Very welcome, Amanda. Thank you guys so much. Concludes it. I'll go ahead and the presentation that we have. Thank you. Thank you, Lamadi. Thank you, Noemi. Amanda, thank you. Thank you, Liliana, Andrea. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. I'm going to have chairs go ahead and email this presentation with a video out. So this way you and the team will have it. Please reflect back to it. This is just a surface level conversation, although we did go kind of deep, but it wasn't deep enough. But this is just that. So you guys go back, master it, watch all of it. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, William. Thank you. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, guys all. Appreciate you guys. We'll get out, send it to your teams, get trained, go close more deals, and let's grow. Peace.